First thing I came across this week, I was quite excited about. We have talked about Michael Carlson's IntuneManagement tool many, many, many times on office hours. It's a fantastic PowerShell-based tool that allows you to copy settings, copy configuration profiles, compliance policies, compare policies and profiles in Intune, document your Intune environment. There are a whole host of things that really this tool is going to help out with. And the reason that I bring that up is because he released a new update just a few days ago, which I was excited about because we haven't seen one for a little while, which isn't entirely surprising. This is a tool that he creates on his own time for the community. So I wanted to point this out. Some pretty major changes. There were some breaking changes on viewing script policies. So this requires a new permissions level. The device management scripts read write all permissions. So thank you, Michael, for calling this out. PowerShell 7 now supported as part of this tool. I know there are plenty of times that I've gone to launch this and realized, oh, I meant to launch this with Windows PowerShell. So I'm excited to see that we'll see this both ways. And then just a whole host of fixes around comparisons, importing and exporting, documentation, some really, really great stuff here. So if you use Michael's tool already, be sure to go ahead and grab this latest update. If you don't use it, highly, highly recommend putting this in your toolbox. It is a fantastic tool again. I also came across... I haven't actually downloaded this yet, but I'm bringing it up because this is the first time coming across it. A tool called IntuneLogWatch, another community tool. It is a macOS application that will help you analyze Intune logs just to make things a little bit easier. So came across this. Where was that? I think on the Modern Endpoint Management group on LinkedIn, which is a fantastic large group, by the way. If you're not on there, I recommend hopping on there. Gil Burns is the gentleman that put this out. So I'm looking forward to trying out this tool as well. And on the note of macOS, last week we had a question basically around how do we prevent macOS from updating to macOS 26 using Intune and DDM. So macOS 26 was released on Monday alongside all of the other 26 versions of iOS and iPadOS and Apple TV OS and watchOS. Any other OSs I'm missing, Johan? The Vision Pro, that OS as well. But the question was specifically around Mac OS. And just before hopping on here, Johan and I were having a nice conversation about I had not gotten to the point of fully testing this because as we find out often in our corner of the industry, things aren't always perfect. They're not always black and white. They're not always crystal clear. And I've come across about 4 different ways that it looks like we can delay the latest major update for macOS. Let me explain a little bit what I mean by that. So if I pop into Intune and then go to my macOS devices and I create a new configuration here, we'll go ahead and create a new settings catalog profile. We'll call it macOS DDM major update delay, let's say. And like any other settings catalog settings, we're going to go ahead and add more settings. And if we go into our declarative device management area, which is primarily what we're going to be using for managing updates with macOS from here on out, you can see there are several different categories for software updates. So if we click on these, let's start with this, and we'll click on these, and we'll click on these. A whole bunch of settings that we have, and I would expect quite a few settings around how we can manage updates on our macOS devices. So we've got some good stuff here. I think we'll come back to these deferrals here in a moment because that's what we want to focus on. We have, but I want to point out we do have deferrals here, and we have enforce latest here, and we have target build version and target OS version here. So to me, if I'm looking at settings for the first time, these are three different ways that I may or may not be able to control effectively what updates are offered to my devices that this profile is assigned to. The one that I have come across most commonly recommended is, let's go back here, and deferrals is this one right here. Our deferrals major period in days. So as I understand this policy, this will allow you to defer major updates like macOS 26 for a certain amount of days. Now, one of the potential issues with this setting is that if I set, let's say I want to delay this for 6 months, you can see that we only have the ability to delay it for 90 days at most. But this is what I have seen recommended most commonly. And I'll go back to this. I have not tested this myself, but just in some of my research over the last week, I've seen this recommended most commonly, with most folks saying we definitely recommend you get up to the latest version of macOS as soon as you can. Now, I want to continue diving into these things, but I thought this presented a good opportunity for us to just sort of call that out again. That is something that is real with these management tools, with managing these different operating systems. There's seemingly 100 different ways to do things sometimes, and some may work better than others. So that's where I'm at with this. This is the setting that I want to test out. But from what I've seen from the community, from the folks that know how to manage macOS devices far better than Andrew does, this is the one that I've seen most commonly. But if there is anyone in the chat that joins us, like Dean, maybe if he happens to join us today and has a different perspective on this, please, I would be happy to share it. But just kind of wanted to share what this research was looking like over the last week.
All right, awesome.
All right, that was what I had.
Okay then, and it's my turn.
Indeed.
One thing that I stumbled across this week that made me very, very happy was that David Segura found a new home and is joining Recast software together with his basically two modules, but the OSDCloud and OSD PowerShell module. So getting that extra support and a team that can help evolve this further. I'm looking very forward to that. And as I read through a little bit of the press release here, I like to see this one, of course, remains to be free. That's kind of expected, but we cannot take anything for granted these days. So it was nice to see. And congratulations from us both, David. You'll be a great contribution to their team, I'm sure of it.
Absolutely, that's fantastic news.
Then I stumbled across our friends over at System Center Dudes. They may have had this before, but I didn't learn about it until pretty much today. And that they have a free membership for all some of their config man reports, dashboards, etc. So if you're interested in that, by all means, go ahead and get that one. And for those of you who don't know the folks behind it, they've been long-time community champions for years and years and years, and written some fantastic material in addition to doing all this great reporting stuff. And then I stumbled across something that just made me so dang happy, like a warm, fuzzy feeling. A gentleman I've been following for a long time, Scott Hanselman with Microsoft, he did a very short video about, I'm not going to play it back here, but the gist of it is that tech has room for everyone. And he explains it so well in this video. So we're just going to ahead and share that link below. But some people, they work 9 to 5, and that is okay. Some people like to do stuff on their weekends. That is also okay. Like, I absolutely love that. It was heartwarming, to say the least. Very good.
I I agree. It's a fantastic message. I happened to catch it that you retweeted it right before we hopped on and got the chance to watch it, and it's good to remember that as well.
Yeah, it's good stuff. There's so much passion in our industry. Let's not let that go to waste.
Yes.
All right. That was what I had in terms of news. All right.
Did you want to talk a little bit about Windows 10 or ESUs before we get going?
Is there a deadline coming up or something?
Last I checked, there might be something going on October 14th.
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
Oh,
No, that I am actually involved right now in a couple of like last minute upgrading projects, organizations that like, ooh, you need help.
yeah.
But yes, it is time. And at this point, as you guys know, you basically have two options. Either you continue to pay for updates, or you make sure to upgrade your devices here in a couple of weeks. And even if you go the former route, paying for an update, it's not the end of the world. You install a new product key, and that's pretty much it. And you will be served updates for a while. Now, obviously, it doesn't have all the bells and whistles and security features as Windows 11 have, but still, Windows 10 is a pretty good OS. Our recommendation, of course, stands: upgrade to Windows 11 if you have the chance, and then you don't have to pay for updates.
That's true. And likewise, involved in a couple of different conversations around this as well. And for those that do end up having to pay for the updates, um, because that is, I think, a reality for many organizations. Um, Microsoft does have some nice documentation. I'm not sure. For me, it's finally there, but it may have been there for a little bit. Talks exactly about how you can, after you have purchased extended security updates, how you can get that key and how to apply that key to your devices, because that's really all it is at the end of the day. Unless I missed something that you've seen, Johan, basically just installing a new ESU key, and that will allow new updates to get offered to your devices that have that key.
Oh, I have a feeling a PowerShell script is going to be handy.
I have no doubt. Make things quite easy, I would say.
All right, sounds good.